Not worth mentioning at all. Just. So, ladies and gentlemen, what has been one of the ongoing themes of the Dan Bongino Show for the last, 4 years, whether it's Spygate, the collusion hoax, the impeachment hoax, the Mueller hoax, all the various anti-Trump hoaxes out there, the IRS targeting scandal, which wasn't a hoax, spying on the Trump campaign, which wasn't a hoax. The odd thing about these scenarios, there are no airborne scenarios. Remember that Air Force One movie, Airborne? There are no airborne scenarios. What's the commonality amongst all of these anti-Trump scenarios that have developed and since gone away? Many of them, some still ongoing. These people all know each other. They all know each other. The deep state cabal, they all know each other. The people all involved. Whenever you hear a name, let me give it, okay. Paul, if I don't say it, stop me. I'm sorry, John Buzzman Joe. I'm just going to go to my wife on this one. So,
yeah.
If I don't explain this well, Paula, you need to stop me. And Joe, you can jump in later. This is the best way to explain this. Whenever you see a name surface in the media connected to, and he's a government, it's someone in the government, okay? Let me put that proviso in there, okay? Whenever you see a name associated with the government come up in an anti-Trump story, insider from Department of Defense says this, Trump sucks, and the name is whatever, Joey Bag of Donuts. I guarantee, the verdict is in, the guarantee is in. Guarantee you that person is involved in another anti-Trump scandal. It's the simplest thing in the world. Just go through, find the name, all the anti-Trump or anti-conservative scandals, and you'll find this person involved in something else. The libs are, that's a conspiracy theory. This isn't a deep state. Then how come everybody involved in an anti-Trump scam is always involved in an anti-conservative scam or some other anti-Trump scam? How is that? It's just a coinky dink, I'm sure. Just, nobody should see it. Okay, what am I talking about? Let's look at this Wall Street Journal story from yesterday. Again, it's the easiest thing in the world. Find the name, Google the name, put it in a search engine somewhere, and you'll see somewhere later on in the search engine that name will appear in another scandal. Let's go to this Wall Street Journal story. The Justice Department and Politics, headline by James Freeman. Look who's resigning now. So quick backstory on this before I get to the first screenshot. So you had this guy, Richard Pilger, or Pilger, whatever his name is. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, it's not intentional. So Pilger, Bill Barr has said, the Attorney General, the head of our Justice Department, obviously, has said, listen, we need to look into these claims of election fraud. Ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing controversial about that. If Bill Barr finds nothing, that's a good day for America. Is it not? Even if we don't want election fraud. If we lost fair and square, we lost. We'll figure it out. I don't think we lost. There's nothing to concede yet. I'm resisting till the end. Period. Full stop. Till you can prove to me we lost. If you can, peaceful transitions of power, that's what we do best. But don't you think it would be a good thing to determine if there was fraud in the election or not? Are you seriously suggesting to me as a liberal and a media person, although I just said the same thing twice, that 71 million Americans who voted for President Trump, large swaths of them who don't believe the election result was credible, we should just be entirely ignored? No, you guys all shut up and sit down. No, thanks. We're not. You could take your advice and write up the old wazoo. You know where the wazoo is. We figured it out. You older listeners get that. No, we're not done. So Bill Barr said, let's look into the election fraud. Responsible thing to do. If he finds nothing, great. If he finds something there, that stinks. And let's clean it up before the next election. Fair, right? Reasonable thing to say? Of course it's reasonable, unless you're a liberal and you're a lunatic. Someone stepped down, Joe. They refuse to be involved in this. You know, a whole hunt for potential fraud and they don't want to get involved in any. I am stepping down. This is what, a witch hunt. So check out this from the Wall Street Journal. Who's our latest guy? This all sounds reasonable enough, right? But as Ms. Grisales notes, as a person who wrote another article, at least some on the DOJ staff disagree with this decision to look into voter fraud. Quote, shortly after the memo was released, Richard Pilger, head of the DOJ's election crimes branch, stepped down from that role in protest over Barr's memo. He announced the departure to colleagues Monday evening. What?
Protest.
You picked up, what are you protesting? Paula, Joe, am I missing? What is he protest? Can someone explain? So
You're
Bill,
cool.
I am, right? Like nobody gets this because we don't have adamantium coated skulls. What is he protesting? So principled man, Richard Pilger from the DOJ, who heads the election crimes division, has sworn affidavits from numbers of people alleging Dead people voted. Their vote wasn't counted. Listen, if it all turns out to be explainable, terrific. I mean that. It's not a joke. I'm not talking down to anyone. I don't want election fraud. Nobody does. But we shouldn't investigate them. And Pilger's protesting as the Election Crimes Division head, protesting allegations of fraud by people who signed their names on sworn affidavit. I'm just checking. You're protesting what? But he's principled. Dreaded air quotes again. Meanwhile, Joe, you know for a fact if Donald Trump had won, and there were hundreds, if not thousands, of allegations of voter fraud across the country, they would have the DOJ do it. They'd be spying on the Trump campaign transition to the second term right now. So as I told you before, every single time you see a name, just put the name in a search engine anywhere. Don't use Google. I said that before. I can't stand Google and YouTube. Forget them. They squashed us yesterday. That's why I'm on Rumble, because I don't care. I
caught that, yeah.
Yeah, you did. I know. Should you bleep that? You know what's funny? You should bleep that out or so. Right? And then we'll explain it later and they'll get the bleep. They'll be like, what was that about? Did he curse? Can you do that? Is that possible without causing too many editing? All right, put that in. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So mark it. I don't know what it is, like the 9-minute mark. So I did, actually, I found it in New York, but this came up yesterday. All I did was put it in a search bar in a social media, and I found out that Pilger had been involved in something else. So I pulled up this journal article that explains it very well. Here comes Pilger. Just go, I'm telling you, I'm going to say it again, just search engine the name and you'll see right now. So congressional Republicans are incensed. This is from another article that the IRS, remember the IRS scandal? This is from another piece here that the journal's quoting. Transmitted a 1 million page database of information concerning tax-exempt organizations to the FBI shortly before the 2010 election. Hold that up a second. So just to be clear, Pilger, who's protesting looking into election fraud, he may have been involved in the IRS scandal when they were targeting conservative groups. Wow, this is weird. Here we go again. Richard Pilger, a Justice Department prosecutor who discussed concerns about the tax-exempt organizations, who were conservatives, by the way, political activity with the IRS during 2010, told congressional investigators recently, this is a while ago, that he contacted the IRS in January of 2011 for help in obtaining, quote, certain tax information to assist with a specific investigation. LOL guy emoji. Every single time, every one of these guys, whether it was the fake whistleblower in the Ukraine case, whether it's Obama's fixer, who I talk about in my book, Follow the Money, that just came out, Catherine Rumler, who I have a whole chapter on her, dedicated to Catherine Rumler, Obama's lawyer, his White House lawyer. He said, oh, Catherine Rumler's great. She has the ability to see around corners. She was his fixer. She cleaned up all Obama's messes, Catherine Rumler. Most of you, if you don't watch his show, have no idea who she is. Their names creep up in everything. She was involved with the Obama scandals, with the Mueller probe, the Carter Page hoax dossier, defending all of it. Susan Rice, she was her lawyer, associations with the Clintons. They're everywhere. So the same guy protesting, Bill Barr's principled memo saying, let's look at election fraud and see if it happened. Pilger, I'm not doing that. I'm protesting, is the same guy involved in the target of conservatives when he was over with the DOJ, working with the IRS to target conservative groups to make sure that they got hammered by the IRS. Don't worry, Joe. He's a principled guy, man.
Yeah.
Every single time. Every time. And by the way, outside of conservative media, you're not going to hear any of this. The media will celebrate this guy, Pilger, without mentioning the substantial conflict of interest that he was a key figure in the IRS targeting scandal. Yeah, against conservatives. Conservatives, like the Donald Trump presidency. Not worth mentioning at all. Just...
You just heard Dan Bongino.